It's a wet, cold morning, but me and Toby are still out here marathon training. And this week, we're talking about down weeks because of the conditions, we've switched it to a down week. But before we get into that, we've got to finish this wet, cold, and horrible run. Woo! .11 miles done, and I've got to be honest with you, I don't know whether you can see me, but I'm soaked. That's got to be one of the wettest runs I've ever done. Oh man. Right, back to HQ.
What is up, people? How are we doing? Oh, nice coffee. And look, check this out, look. Salted caramel galaxy. Let me know in the comments who likes salted caramel galaxy or galaxy chocolate in general. Let me know in the comments. I got absolutely soaked on that run. It was 11 miles. I'll put the stats up somewhere along the line. And we went out easy. We was looking at around 10-minute miles on the way out. Nice zone 2 run on the way out. And then we turned around and we came back. And we basically came back at marathon pace. That was the idea of today. But yeah, basically we cut that run short because next week's down week. So we flipped it. Because, and Toby's on the same plan as me, by the way. The following week was meant to be our lower long run. So I shouldn't have had that coffee because now I'm going to be burping it all the way through this video. Lovely, right? But yeah, it's down. We was meant to cut it next Sunday, but because the weather was so bad today, and I've never been that wet, we flipped it over. So, down weeks, and that's what this video, this week's vlog is all about. Let me know in the comments, like I said, I think I said a second ago, I can't even remember. What I said a second ago, do you take down weeks in your training plans? It doesn't have to be a marathon training plan, half marathon training plan. Do you take down weeks? And if you do, how do you get on with them? How do you find them? And all that sort of stuff. I'd be interested to know your thoughts down in the comments. So this video, I say this week's vlog, we're talking a little bit about that. So let's get stuck in. Right, so down weeks, what are they? They are a descaling of your effort. Between 50 to 90% in some cases during a marathon training plan, and there's a lot of stuff written about it online. You can check it out about the benefits of taking down weeks, because you need to let your body sort of catch up with itself to have that element of it balancing out from the exertions of marathon training, and I think obviously rest is really, really important. People underestimate the power of rest, in particularly sleep, but they underestimate the power of sleep and rest during a marathon training plan. And I think just having that down week or weeks, depends on how you view it, can make a real difference in terms of your overall state, your overall conditioning of your body. Because if you keep going and keep going and keep going, at some point you're either going to break, or mentally you're going to get fatigued and all that sort of stuff, and it's a downward spiral, and you're going to start hating your runs. You'll get to week 10 and you'll be like, oh, I don't want to go out and do 15 miles. So it's really good to kind of hit that reset button. So like I said a minute ago, I think it was, 50 to 90% mileage decrease is a sort of rule of thumb that I use. What it looks like for me, so just to give you an idea, in week 4, I dropped one run, which kind of brings my miles down straight away, but I drop one run and have an extra rest day. I take those sort of, and I'll do it in kilometres because I tend to work in kilometres, so those sort of 8k easy runs, I bring them down to about 5k, and my long run, which would be 14 odd miles at the moment I am in the plan, that comes down. So today I did, well, it was meant to be 10, but we did 11 in the end. But that's the sort of scaling down that I do. I also ease back a little bit on some of the speed work. And I think that the key message also about down weeks that I want to give to you, and I need to take them, is to make sure the runs that you do, you keep the quality runs. So if there's a specific session in the week, like in my plan, which is a high intensity, high effort, high quality run or session, I will maintain that, and I will focus more on the quality of the run. So at the 5k, I will make sure that there's, you know, whether I'm working in an exact zone or to an exact pace and those sort of things. So I'm looking at quality instead of quantity in my down week, and I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments. Does it? So yeah, so they're the sort of things I'm doing in my down weeks, and I really wanted to make this video this week because if you are marathon training, or you're going to be marathon training at some point this year, you really do need to factor in a down week. It just happens for me, it's week 4. I like to build up, I like to build that base over the first 3 weeks. Obviously for me it's a little bit different because I've come from training plan into another training plan. So I use the first 3 weeks to establish a pattern, establish the frequency, and sort of, what's the best way to describe it? Sort of just work on pace and make sure I'm in my pacing zones, heart rate zones and that sort of stuff. And I use the first 3 weeks to do that. I then have that break of 4 week, in the 4 week period, just let my body catch up with itself, which is the phrase I use a lot, just to make sure, you know, it just gets a little bit of a breather, and then we then kick on into the sort of middle part of the plan, which is really where we start building all the distance up. So yeah, so the hard work will start after next week. So I'm actually looking forward to next week with this down week. It is quite a nice excuse just to scale it back. There was something else I need to tell you, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, that was it. I've got a video coming out, and I'm not sure when it's going to come out, but it's on heart rate monitors and training to sort of, not training to heart rate, but the benefits I'm finding using heart rate training. I've done some videos, or 1 or 2 videos on this before, but I thought I'd drill into it because a lot of you guys have been asking me on Instagram and stuff like that about my heart rates, because I do tend to mention it on the post, what sort of zones I'm working in, that sort of stuff. So we've got a review coming out of the Garmin heart rate monitor that I'm using. I thought that would be useful, so you can see the sort of tech that I'm using. And then I'm going to follow that up with a video about sort of heart rate training and that sort of stuff. We won't get too deep into it because I think that can be boring, but I just want to give you sort of advantages, disadvantages and that sort of stuff. Because for me, even over the last just 3-4 weeks, I've been really focusing on it. So that's why I really wanted to sort of share that information with you. And as I said, because you guys have been asking for it. And talking about that, hang on, let me just have a... It's hard work. You go out, you run, you come in, you film. Yeah, hang on. I know that can be annoying, but I really need it. Anyway, thank you very much. Everybody, well, not everybody, but loads of you keep messaging me on Instagram and stuff like that, email with video ideas and things like that. So thank you very much. Keep that up. I like it. You guys are giving me, where's my list? These are all yours that you guys have asked me to do. So I will get onto them. And to say the heart rate was part of it, and there was a few others that you were asking for. So thank you very much. Keep them coming, and I will get round to them. And as I said, if you've not done this before and you want a video, you want me to touch on a subject, it doesn't have to be about marathon training, let me know in the comments or hit me up on Instagram, send me a DM or send me an email as ever. But that's it this week. Short, sharp video, but I wanted to talk about, as I said, more important than anything else, down week, because it's a down week for me, and I wanted to let you guys know that you should be doing the same, and there are massive gains to be had. But that's it. I'll catch you guys next week.